Find the perfect ride for you today with the New Year New Ride sales event at Guam Auto Spot. Get behind the wheel of the 2024 Outlander Sport starting at just $22,995 or only $156 per paycheck. Visit GuamAutospot.com or call 671-478-AUTO.
Buy fuel, get Wendy's. Drive to your nearest 76 Circle K and get free Wendy's. Yes, free. Fuel up with $30 and score your choice of a 6-piece crispy chicken nuggets or a juicy junior cheeseburger deluxe. Fresh, hot, and packed with flavor. But hurry, quantities are limited and this delicious deal won't last long. So hit the road to 76 Circle K, fuel up, and get Wendy's free before it's gone.
You or someone you know looking for a job? Well, Sentinel Security is hiring and they're offering starting pay between $10 to $15 an hour, and they'll train you to email them today that you're interested at sentinelsolutionsguam@gmail.com. Sentinel Security, Guam's most reliable security solution for your home and your business. It's the morning. Kickstart your day with one of Wendy's Guam's breakfast faves, either the morning melt panini, breakfast burrito, or sausage, egg, and cheese English muffin, and then they've got a whole lot more good stuff on that menu. Your mornings just got that much more delicious. Head to Wendy's for breakfast from 6 to 10:30 in the morning on weekdays and from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. on the weekends.
Good Morning Show with Troy Torres is brought to you by 76 Circle K Guam.
Good morning, my dear friends. It is 8:44 a.m. on Friday, August 15, 2025. Good morning to you all who have commented. Brother Brennan Fausto, my cello Johnny Rosario, Auntie Lonnie Salas, good morning. Teresa Garcia, my sister, good morning. And as well as my sister Betty Cruz. And to all of you who are watching live and all of you who are going to be watching the replay, welcome. Good morning. My name is Troy Torres. Thank you so much, and God bless you for your viewership, for your readership, for your friendship, and for being our family here at Kandit. Let's call Attorney General Douglas Moylan. Hi. Good morning, Attorney General.
Good morning, Troy.
Good morning. You're live with us on Kandit with all of our viewers. You want to say good morning to our viewers?
Oh, buenas to everybody on Guam, our client.
Thank you so much for your time, Attorney General. We very much appreciate the time that you're taking to speak with us. So I don't know if you're tracking any of the stories that have been coming out of KOAM or PDN or our station or Ray Gibson station regarding Tiguac Cemetery. Are you familiar with what's going on, sir?
I'm generally familiar with it.
Okay.
And, in terms of tracking, it's organizations like yourself that I appreciate as an attorney general, because you guys are letting us see what's out there. Information, I'm not saying it's admissible in court necessarily, but the fact that we're troubleshooting these issues that are going on out there. So thank you for that.
You're welcome, sir. And thank you for your commitment and your staff's commitment against corruption. And this is where I wanted to take this
Absolutely.
conversation is we did a FOIA, and Department of Parks and Rec, they disclosed 160 pages of documents that in our reading of it is incomplete for what we asked for. We asked for all financial and procurement records related to the Tiguac Cemetery contract between Comfort Cuts, which is owned and operated by the Lieutenant Governor's sister and her boyfriend, and the Department of Parks and Recreation. 2 fiscal years are missing. 24 entire months of invoices and any sort of records are missing. But in the records that do exist, sir, in our investigation into it, what we found was that this is a contract for $24,750 on any given fiscal year within the 5 years of the contract. In fiscal year 2024, sir, and I'm not a lawyer, so can you explain, can you help, can you confirm what is my plain reading? In fiscal year 24, everyone from DPR to GSA to DOA to Comfort Cuts accepted requisitions, purchase orders, invoices, and payments amounting to double the contract price for that year. Sir, is it against the law to do that? I mean, I don't know how contract law works and the government and all that, but maybe you can enlighten our readers or our viewers.
Well, Ray, I'm sorry, Troy, on this issue, it's probably not good for the Attorney General in any jurisdiction to prejudge things, especially we as lawyers, right? We want to make sure that we have the documents in front of us, and then we got to do the legal research on it. Okay. I will say that there's enough to start an investigation, and I'll let you know that based upon the information that's been coming out, the Government Corruption Division at the AG's office is now looking at it. You've got your 2 different sides of it as I see government corruption. You've got mistakes, honest mistakes, and mistakes that are made where no money goes into somebody's pocket improperly. Then you have the extreme negligence and recklessness and how the laws are being exercised. And then you've got basic theft that goes on where people are getting paid off through the contracts, right?
Yeah.
So that's the type of issues that every government corruption investigation looks at. We thank the Supreme Court for upholding the Guam law on the investigative grand juries, or just basically the ability of a grand jury to issue subpoenas, to get documents, to bring in witnesses.
Oh gosh,
that's
so basic. That's such a basic and fundamental right of the Attorney General's office to have.
Was great. Right, and it's not just the Attorney General's office. I like to say it's the people of Guam, because that is on every document. Mm-hmm. It's either the people of Guam or the government of Guam, which is the people's government, right, that does these things and asks the questions. You need information in order to make decisions, and in order to investigate corruption, or civil corruption or criminal corruption, whatever the case is, you need those documents. You need the information.
I can't believe that was actually being challenged. That's a ridiculous challenge to that power.
Well, these defense attorneys, and I'll say it right now. You've got a corrupt governor and her administration. All the reports, especially the in-depth deep dives that you do, and I read it very intently to find out where the facts are coming from and how these documents are coming in. That's how the people of Guam need to analyze what's going on to make for a better government, a better quality of life, because so much is taken from us in the government corruption realm. Not the guy that goes down and robs that liquor store, that takes as much as the government officials that are trusted and take the millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars that could have gone towards a better village, a better baseball field, the things of the quality of life issues, right? So for the Tiguan Cemetery one, we are investigating it. It's a procurement issue, it appears. And now the team, the lawyers, are going to have to take a look at what information is clear and what is not clear, and get that.
Thank you for breaking that news here. We'll be sure to put that out as a breaking news story on our website as well. On the subject of corruption in the administration, going from what you were just talking about, sir, ever since the PUA fraud federal case was dropped, and going into this whole Tiguac thing that the media has uncovered, and to other things, by the way, I don't want to get to some of that other stuff as well in this interview if we have time, is Josh Tenori, the Lieutenant Governor, has been saying, I was not aware, I didn't know, it wasn't me. Sir, I mean, you've been around the block, not just as a citizen who reads the news, but also as a prosecutor, as a defense attorney yourself. Do you
Right.
believe the lieutenant governor when he says, after with all the facts that you understand to be in the reports and by the federal government's allegations and also by the media reports on the local stuff? I mean, how
Well,
plausible is it that he didn't know?
Well, you know, Troy, it goes from the role that I have for the people. I am the public prosecutor by that Democrat election that they chose this individual, chose this individual for 4 years, and I am a temporary employee to look over the allegations that are made, right?
Uh-huh.
These safety checks that are in the system, the grand jury that we talked about, and the federal grand jury that came out with those indictments, probable cause was found that there appears to have been a crime committed and that these persons are the ones accused of the crime, right?
Yeah.
There's also that corollary, you're innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
And if you look at the documents so far, the lieutenant governor has not been indicted, has not at least unsealed and the information that's available to the public in the federal realm.
Yeah.
So they're working their way towards that day in court so that the jury can ultimately decide if they're guilty or not, these individuals. But I will say this, the people that they're tying with, how did they get into the government? That's one of the key questions those federal government's doing. We've got the civil defense prosecution that's going on right now as well. But you got to ask yourself, step back a moment and wonder, what is the Department of Labor connection? Why was it that there's people in the federal system that were indicted in the government, and how did they get to those government officials to do what they're alleged to have done? So do I believe that Josh Tenorio is guilty? No. There's no allegations whatsoever to say that. But as prosecutors, you start looking at where all the irregularities are coming up. And in the federal system, they've done that. In our system, we're working with the public auditor, and the public auditor's reports, they speak for themselves. And I know you're a strong advocate of releasing that information. You follow the money, right? In white-collar crimes, you always follow the money. Hence the FBI and the Department of Justice, hence the Attorney General and the public auditor.
Yes.
We're tracking the money because that's where the corruption's occurring, the money going into people's pockets. And that is the highest level of prosecution that we find. When we see money going into somebody's pocket, that is where the people of Guam and the juries will find guilt and criminality. And we don't like punishing people, right, Troy?
Yeah.
But we want a better community, and that's the end of the equation. That these people are taken out of trust positions, no longer trusted with the taxpayer money, which is billions of dollars now in our budget for the government.
Well,
So
some people need to go to prison to stop them from hurting the rest of us.
Right. That's why I'm saying if it is proven what's going on in the federal government, this is going to rank with former Governor Bordallo.
It's going to outrank that. It's going to
I was in
outrank that.
junior high, I think.
Yeah.
At the time, right. The amount of money that they're talking about and the level of corruption is showing that it will outrank the Bordallo administration having been accused of crime and the convictions that came from there. But I mean, Troy, we're living our life and we don't need to see this. We have to stop getting out of this banana republic type of mentality. We lose respect from the DC. Right. The District of Columbia, the feds, they lose respect for us as a community when they see the corruption, right? We're that typical banana republic.
Yeah.
And these leaders that we're putting into office, they're the ones behind it. And I'm talking about the governor. She has wasted her 2 terms, her trust of the people for 2 terms to improve our lives. Troy, look at the whole rundown. Now Carinel's closing. Chuck E. Cheese was the first one. So we that have kids, I took my kids to Chuck E. Cheese when they were young. Now, what about everybody, all the other kids out there? They're losing that ability to go to that. The Ganya swimming pool is another one.
Yeah. A whole bunch of restaurants.
It's like the harbinger of the disaster coming. And she touts herself as a banker and all this. This is the source of the investigations. What exactly is this governor doing, and why did we elect her and have that Bank of Guam as part of the government with her in charge of everything?
Sir, in that vein, right? Where if this is the whole buck stops here sort of theory, right? Do you think from what you're seeing and from all of your experience, you think the governor was aware of all of these things? And if you think she was aware, can you tell us what you think about what she should have been doing, or what should she have asked for her lieutenant governor to resign a long time ago? Should she have
Well,
canceled
that's a
these
political
contracts?
question, right?
Uh-huh.
That's a political question. The legal question is, what is it? Does she require the lieutenant governor to resign? No, that's not the way the law is set up. Should she ask for the resignation for him to resign? I don't know. You ask people off the street, and a lot of people don't like the smell of what's going on there. But your earlier question, what is the litmus test that the Attorney General of Guam uses for looking at the governor? When I representing my client, the people of Guam who are suffering as crime victims because of this meth epidemic that's going on, because every car that's being pulled over, these guys are bringing the dogs up. The Guam Police Department is finding drugs all over the place. It's coming through the Port Authority of Guam, and this governor, about a year ago, when I asked her, get together, let's close that port down, have every container inspected, every cargo inspected, she refused to do it. That's the smoke that's coming. The smoking gun, where there's smoke, there's fire, that sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
There's something going on between the Port Authority of Guam and this governor of Guam. And if that Bank of Guam is part of this whole, her whole administration, doing her connections with that, this is a political discourse that the people of Guam need to hear. That was that billboard that went up that was showing that why doesn't our governor, who has a fiduciary duty to us, do a simple thing? Have those containers checked. Why is it that Just Pirates Cove is getting drugs washing up on his shore? It's the containers. So, and those broken locks, those cut locks that Customs is always saying, oh, no, that's no problem. It is a problem. When they seal it in California and they come here and the numbers are off on the new container lock that's on it, even by one digit. That was a whole Long Beach Department of Justice crackdown on Long Beach and on Florida that came out recently. I think it was in February of this year. It's the Port Authority. When you're in an island, there's only so much meth that can be around and coming in different ways. But the price is too low. That means the quantity is massive coming in. I'm not talking about these airplanes where people are putting their suitcases. That doesn't justify the $10 a puff. The what is it? Maybe $100 for a gram of meth. That's the type of quantity that's coming into Guam right now. And the chief executive officer, one executive order from her would have that port properly inspected. But I don't even trust the customs anymore. You need to put an attorney general with a designated person overseeing the inspections at the port. And then those fishing boats that are going out every night, where is the National Guard with all that beautiful equipment that they get, using it for operations to check our coastlines? The southern ports where those fishing boats are being put off the skiffs without any inspections by the conservation officers and customs. Why aren't those being night operations, checking every place that they can launch those fishing boats?
Well,
because it's
Attorney
coming off
General,
of the containers. It's got to be.
Attorney General, you're going to be very interested in a story that we're going to be publishing today that deals with meth trafficking and a very direct connection to the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration. It's our biggest story since the PUA fraud indictment that happened on June 25. And I will be circling back to ask you about this once we publish this story. Actually, I'll send you an advanced copy of the story, and you're not gonna believe your eyes when you see facts that have been laid out in a certain document. But I do want to come back to this issue of comfort cuts. Can you walk us through what your investigation into comfort cuts will involve? Like, not the don't give us the tricks of the trade, but the process. Yeah, what does the process look like?
In general, the process of government corruption investigation is, first, there's got to be a red flag thrown out.
Okay.
The public auditor, with their in-depth financial analysis and their accountants that are looking over everything, that's one source of starting a government corruption investigation at this Attorney General's office.
Okay.
But the first one, stepping back in 2023, was my commitment to make sure that we improve the quality of life by creating a government corruption division, an actual division in the office. Our lack of attorneys has caused a lot of problems on my ability to push that forward, but now we've got a good team of attorneys now in that division that are actively taking these leads. And you know that, Troy.
Yes.
The leads are so important. It reminds me of that old Men in Black movie, the first one, where he goes up to the National Enquirer and then he says that, this is the best source of information as he starts to
yes,
look
I remember
over
that.
organizations, the news organizations, the freedom of the press, people like yourself you do the deep dives in, you ask the questions, you analyze the documents, you put the pieces together. I'm telling you that the Kandit News organization has been very important for this Attorney General's office.
Thank you.
And getting my people to ask the questions. And again, I thank the Supreme Court for upholding Guam law that allows us to literally bring in the individuals and provide the documents so that we don't just make allegations. We
Yes.
actually do good lawyering and find the money where it's coming from.
And
where
go
it's,
and go
you know,
get
good
those
and bad.
bank records too from your investigative subpoenas. Go get those bank records.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Everything, all the financial documents. So these are the leads that go into an investigation. And I know the investigations aren't as fast as a lot of people would like them to be. And I'm a strong advocate. Justice delayed is justice denied. Our quality of life, our lives are going on every month, every year. We're losing family members, not only to meth, but leaving Guam. People don't like to live in an environment where they don't have any the niceties of life. And that's why I'm saying, look at Carinel. Look at Tony Roma's. Everything is closing, Governor. Why? Why are people leaving the business? America was built on capitalism. It's built on not the government of Guam. It's built on Tony Roma's, Carinel, Chuck E. Cheese, those people that have to eat what they kill. You know, that's the mentality. And so what we're going to do, what we're doing is to take out those government officials. And I asked the legislature, anyone that's got a conviction, misdemeanors and felonies, don't get them in the government. Give other people the chance. The University of Guam, all those bright minds that are coming out of our university, encourage the positive things in life. You go to school, you get educated, you get a good job. You know, that's the way that we have to, as government officials, promote that. And as an attorney general, we're hammering it. We're taking the leads that you ask the questions. We start asking the questions when we hear what you're asking.
Oh.
And from other sources that we get the anonymous calls that come in, you know, that's how we do the criminal investigations. It starts with the question.
147 people watching this live show, everyone hanging on to every word of yours because you're the newsmaker today and on this issue.
You know,
I think we're going to want to know, when will this investigation begin, or has it already begun?
it's already begun.
It's already
Troy.
begun.
It's just right. It's the idea that this and every other lead, you know, it may end up, as I said, just being an error. And I'm not the type that likes to nail everybody to the cross. You got to find with limited resources, you need to find the ones that matter. And the questions that you're asking seem to be the ones that matter. You know, and I'm not saying that what you're saying is criminal. It's actually criminal, but that's what you're saying too. Ask the question. You know, do the investigation, get the documents, put it out into the public eye. The government, by definition, is the public. The public has a right to know, and we have a right to know. And then the political decisions versus the criminal decisions that governments are making, governors and the cabinet, don't let the government officials off the hook. She runs and controls these boards and commissions. I don't care if they're autonomous. She sets it up by appointing those board members at the Port Authority. She can remove them when they don't do what she wants to have done as our elected leader. These cabinet officials at Parks and Rec, you name it, they're all accountable to her and us, and especially to her. She's responsible for everything that's going on in this executive branch. What are we at? $1.3 billion?
Almost
as a government?
1.4. Almost 1.4, yeah.
Exactly. And she controls probably 80% of it. The judiciary and the legislature are just fractions, small fractions of the amount of money that this governor of Guam controls. And I'm telling you, the investigations are leading to a Ricky Bergalio cleaning of our clock by the federal government and by the Attorney General's office.
Sir,
we're taking things in.
We're
We're
counting
doing
on that.
investigations.
The people of Guam, we are counting on the federal government and on Attorney General Douglas Moylan to clean this up, because
Well,
I mean,
I'm
what we're
just
seeing on a daily
mouthpiece of
basis.
the people.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
You know, Angel Sablon, the director of Parks and Rec, he told us on the record, he said, I'm waiting for the documents from DOA, is what he said. And when those documents come in, we're going to send a demand letter over to Comfort Cuts for them to repay what was overpaid. And if they refuse to pay, we're going to send that over to the Attorney General. Sir, do you think that they should wait, that DPR should wait to send a report over to you guys, or do you think they should send that report over now?
Well, we're already aware of it. Based on the coverage that you've given, there's an issue out there, right?
Yeah.
So we have the ability to do certain things in order to further the investigation. And I have a lot of respect for Angel, so I appreciate what he's doing. He's doing what the people expect him to do.
He's
When
been an
there's
open
been a
book.
flag thrown,
He's been an open book
right,
on this issue. Yeah.
He's stepping in front of it because the people want to know what is going on, and it's going to be in the documents.
Yeah.
And those are public records. Those are public expenditure of public monies.
Yeah.
So every one of us has a right to know when we pay our taxes, when we go to DMV, when we have to go to revenue tax and do all these taxes, that's where the money's going. I want to know where my money went.
Yeah.
So
are
if
you
it went
willing
to some political hack, then it's got to come out.
Are you willing to expand the investigation beyond this Tiguac cemetery? Because, relating to Charissa Tenorio's contracts with GovGuam, because we've been receiving, we haven't reported it yet, but we've been receiving multiple disclosures from multiple agencies showing that since Josh Tenorio became the lieutenant governor, Charissa Tenorio has secured hundreds of thousands of dollars in contracts throughout the government of Guam. Do you think it's likely you guys will be expanding your investigation beyond Tiguac Cemetery?
Well, Troy, I appreciate the salaciousness, the vigor in which you ask these questions. As attorneys, as prosecutors, we step back, and just because a person has a lot of contracts with the government, right, that isn't a per se type of violation of law. There's no prohibition that I'm aware of necessarily that prevents a person from, being industrious, going and bidding on these contracts and providing these services, the quid pro quo, right? Mm-hmm. But when flags start getting thrown, when you start seeing people with criminal histories in key positions, you need to start investigations and ask the question, was there corruption in the procurement process? Did somebody get paid off and somebody else that tried to offer the service not get awarded that contract? That's the type of questions that the Attorney General in every jurisdiction is responsible to ask. So, again, you're raising a name, you're raising all these allegations against the individual. You see that the federal government has, in fact, started indictments, moving towards trial to come to the conclusion of criminality. So that needs to be consistently asked. And by the way, Troy, one of the interesting things on this investigation, look at the mess. Look, these people, this is a PUA corruption investigation. That's why I keep saying, Governor, Port Authority, these individuals, they're testing positive for meth. What the heck is the connections that are going on? And remember, it's not just the meth.
Oh, sir, there's a big the story that we're going to come out with today. There's a big connection to meth, and you are going to be so surprised that this is in writing.
And Troy asked the question, where's all that money going? It's so prevalent all over the island. Everybody's being found with meth bags, grams, and this and that. Where's the dealer money going? Where's the laundering? The money is going somewhere.
Yes.
That is the next question. And, it's the whole RICO, Racketeer Influence Corrupt Organization Act that the Congress passed.
Yes.
What the drug dealers do with their money is they throw it into legitimate businesses in order to try to wash it. That's where revenue tax comes in.
Oh, sir, you're going to love our story today. You're going to love our story today then, because it speaks exactly to what you're saying.
And Troy, this is why you're really like a crime fighter, okay? You're the people's crime fighter that like Batman, right? But I mean, the idea is every person in our community needs to be a crime fighter. That's the only way that we're going to take back this island.
We need to
take it back from a corrupt governor to speak up and throw them out of office, throw them rascals out of office. Anyone that's associated politically with this governor, including those senators like Parkinson and those guys, get them out of office. They're charlatans. They say one thing. The honeypotting people saying that, I'm going to give you your money back on the GPA thing.
Oh.
Watch what he's doing on his other bills that he's pushing around. He's a henchman of the governor. There's a group of them down at that legislature that push this governor's agenda, and it all leads back to corrupt activities. That's what, in my opinion, is going on out there. So watch the politicians. You know, this slick.
We're watching.
I'll kiss your baby, shake your hand thing. You know, put it past. We didn't hire and elect them to kiss our kids and to shake our hands. We hired them to do their job and do it right and have the integrity and fiduciary relationship with us. When you do something, you do it on our behalf. That's how I run that AG's office, and that's what I expect. And that's why we're resonating with our juries out there, because we're trying to make our lives better.
Yes.
And there's certain people that are in the way of us having a good quality of life.
Sir, I have to ask you two more questions before you go. I know your time is limited, but please allow me to ask you at least two more questions. The first is, it's a question of irony. The governor's office expended a whole lot of resources to attack you for hiring your brother, who was 100% qualified for the position that where your deputy hired him. It wasn't you who hired him; it was your deputy, right? So they made this big deal about nepotism, right? There's an irony here now that the media is uncovering way more public funds used to contract the lieutenant governor's sister. I mean,
yeah, but
you want to talk about that irony? Give you an opportunity
Let's put this in perspective.
Yeah,
absolutely. Let's put this in perspective, okay? First of all, the individuals in a law firm that's doing what we're doing, a crime-fighting law firm, you think that the governor didn't have her tentacles in that law firm when I took over? That law firm was a basket case when I took over. You could see the Cretans jumping ship and in waves in 2023. It made the newspaper and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, good riddance to them, especially the lawyers. Get out of my law firm, because I need the crime fighters. I need the dedicated, loyal, and capable. And it's in that order. So when we talk about, okay, you got my brother, right? He's a prestige accountant throughout Department of Education, different banks, and la-di-da. I didn't hire him, okay? The personnel rules allow for that. Okay, Joe Guthrie, that's part of the system that's set up. But you look at John F. Kennedy. For those Democrats out there, look at John F. Kennedy. President of the United States was shot.
Mm-hmm.
Who did he hire as his attorney general?
His brother.
He hired the most powerful position other than the president is the attorney general of the United States. That person hired a person that he trusted. And guess what happened to both of them? They both were assassinated.
Yeah.
So this is the type of stuff, when you get to the level of an attorney general, you see what Pam Bondi's going through right now. We're not there kissing babies and going to functions and fiestas. The attorney general of every jurisdiction is out there fighting crime, going up against those $1 million drug dealers that are paying off judges and elected leaders and politicians. That is the job of an attorney general. Mm-hmm. And I will leave this office, and this is my second term. I was honored to be the first elected, and now I'm the sixth elected. I will leave this term not apologizing for anything that's going on in my office. We are, except for that meth that was found, which we're in the process of finding where the hell that thing came from. But the idea is that you need a dedicated, loyal team behind you. It goes in the annals of Andrew Jackson, President Kennedy. To the victor goes the spoils, and you better do the people's job, and you better have a team that can produce for the people. And if it means bringing in a person that I trust implicitly, and Mr. Guthrie reviewed it, and so be it. And if it's a person that's the fiancé that's worked in my law firm for 10 years and has the experience and the trust of the Attorney General, and Joe Guthrie saw that, so be it. And we are producing for the people. We have a winning track record on our crimes, and we are going after and doing the people's business. So, this is the type of discourse. You guys want to talk about it? Let's talk about it.
But don't you think it's ironic, sir? Don't you think it's ironic that they attacked you so vociferously over that? Now they're so quiet about the number of contracts and the amount of money that the lieutenant governor's sister has been getting since 2019. Right. I just find it so ironic.
It is ironic, Troy, and it's was a pot calling a kettle black. That's sort of a discussion.
It's hypocritical.
Right, it's hypocritical, but it's really a distraction. So, and that's why I had no problem. And by the way, I'm not the one that did all the personnel work. It's we're a law office of 200 people. We've got an HR department. They vetted everything. The governor's own department of administration cleared everything. It's a smoke screen that they're putting up, okay? Then you start seeing the feds unsealing these indictments against them, la-di-da. The point is, I'm not concerned about that attack. I'm concerned about having a capable group of loyal people that I can effectuate my client's work. The people of Guam are the client. They need to have the investigations and the legal work done, especially in this environment we're in. Not enough lawyers on Guam. My whole team, I call them renegades. My lawyers, those are the guys that I'm bringing. They're mercenaries from the state. They're the dedicated people that I call every morning. I talk to the recruits, and I bring them in to Guam to serve my client, to win those cases in court. Those prosecutors that the administration is always trying to take out. And by the way, that is her allegations. Oh, I hired all these people illegally. Bullshit. Didn't hire these guys illegally. Your own Department of Administration cleared them. The legislature under General Rapadas, Public Law 3153, says the Attorney General needs the autonomy to do the people's business. When you're in a fight, Troy, you better have a good group of guys behind you, because they will take you out as an Attorney General on this island.
It's the same as hiring as hiring in the governor's office. The governor has full control over who he or she hires, because that's the governor's staff. When you have a good governor, Troy, when you have a good governor like Joe Ada was, we put him on less than 4 fingers for the good governors Guam has had. That is what the governor needs. He needs the ability to fire them on the spot without any stupid, classified service merit system protection that I have rights. And by the way, our research is showing that in most every law firm in the state's Attorney General's office, it's at will employment. When you have an elected Attorney General or an elected governor or an elected senator, you want that ability for them to say you're fired. Like Trump. If you don't do the people's business, if you don't let that politician fulfill his promises, get out of that law firm, get out of that senatorial office, get out of that governor's office. And that's why the governor has failed us at even a greater level. She's not a good governor that can look at her people and answer, why the heck did all those potholes exist for all of the 6 years that she was there? And even before that, the other governors that allowed those potholes to get fixed, this is our quality of life issue. And what is it, Gita? Why is Tony Roma's and Caranel closing? GVB, fire them all if they can't get that the tourism back in. Yeah. This is the type of service that the people expect. So I agree. This whole thing about back and forth, oh, you're a hypocrite and this and that. What are you doing for the people at the end of the day? Is who you hired capable and giving the people what they elected? That's why when I look at hiring people, and like you said, if Charissa is coming up with all these red flags and stuff, okay, the question has to be asked. Did you hire this person because they were capable, or did you hire them because you wanted to take the taxpayers' money and give it to your relative? Sir, that is the type of discussion. Sir, my last question for you is, what message do you have for Charissa Tenorio?
Well, she's innocent until proven guilty, Troy. It's as simple as if the people of Guam in a grand jury or the judge allows a misdemeanor to go forward on a misdemeanor, the judge would be there, and a grand jury is the felonies, right? Mm-hmm. If the safety valves in the system are showing that this person is to move forward towards a trial, everybody should be worried and concerned. Okay. Because at the end of the day, when that jury is impaneled and gives their verdict in that trial, it's going to be a sad day on Guam, I think, either way. There's no happiness that's coming to the end of the equation for these criminal corruption trials. It's going to make us feel better that, hey, we got this person out. But who put these people in office? Governor? That's the type of conversation. Mm-hmm. It's sad when the people put a trust in an individual, and including an attorney general. Yeah. It's sad when the people put the trust in that person. They suck 4 years of our lust from us, and then we got to rebuild after them.
Attorney General,
$1.4 billion, Troy. Yeah. And this is the quality of life we're getting from Lou Leon Guerrero. It's pathetic. It's really pathetic.
You don't mince words, sir, and strong words indeed throughout this entire interview. Yeah, and you might want to take a look at all the comments that have come in during this live show. A lot of people saying hi to you, a lot of people applauding you, people very happy with the things that you're saying. And thank you so much for breaking the news on our show that your office has launched an investigation into the Comfort Cuts contract at Tiguac Cemetery. I appreciate that very much. And thank you so much for your time, sir.
Well, thank you, Troy. I'm a temporary employee. I'm ending next year. This is the type of things that we need to fix our community. Every listener, every viewer that you have has to become the crime fighter like you are.
Thank you, sir. God bless you and have a great day.
Thank you, Troy.
Okay. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
So that was Attorney General Douglas Moylan live on the show with us with breaking news that his office, his government corruption task force, has launched a criminal investigation into the Comfort Cuts contract over at Tiguac Cemetery. His message at the end wasn't necessarily, he has to be careful about what he says as the chief prosecutor of this island, but essentially he told the corrupt to beware, because if and when these things do go to trial, it will be a sad day for the people of Guam, because people will be going to jail. For Kandit News, I'm Troy Torres. God bless you, and I love you all.
We got that dynamite. We got that dynamite.
Find the perfect ride for you today with the New Year New Ride sales event at Guam Auto Spot. Get behind the wheel of the 2024 Outlander Sport, starting at just $22,995 or only $156 per paycheck. Visit GuamAutospot.com or call 671-478-AUTO.
Buy fuel, get Wendy's. Drive to your nearest 76 Circle K and get free Wendy's. Yes, free. Fuel up with $30 and score your choice of a 6-piece crispy chicken nuggets or a juicy junior cheeseburger deluxe. Fresh, hot, and packed with flavor. But hurry, quantities are limited and this delicious deal won't last long. So hit the road to 76 Circle K, fuel up, and get Wendy's free before it's gone.